Yo, I got Lincoln in the chat. How's it going, my man? Freed any slaves today? I hope you're winning your civil war. Just don't make statues of it, because people are going to try to tear them down in the present. And ironically, Google it. People do try to tear down Abraham Lincoln statues. Don't know why. They don't like statues. The only statue they like is Karl Marx. Karl Marx is a brilliant statue. Okay. Let's see. Now that we're done with holding historical figures to today's moral standards. What? The servers are down? No. Do not tell me. Do not tell me this. This should not be. Maybe I'll play Diablo 3 if this is the case. Don't tell me the servers are down. They can't be down. They must be up. Where's Battle.net? Let me see if I can find. Okay, I found Battle.net. What does it want from me? It wants a password. All right. I just realized what password means. Like I was sitting on the toilet and then it's like, wait. Like password literally means a word that is required for you to pass. So it's a word for passing. It's a password. Oh my God. I was like, mind blown. Wait, why do I need the servers anyway? Like, can't you play offline? No, I did not see this. Dude, I want to kill demons. You can pretend the demons are whatever you want to be, but I don't want to talk about politics. No real politic. Okay. Bear in mind, I don't want to talk about Australia either. Yes, it's a password. Like, who would have thought that was a... Yeah, bear in mind, like, have it in your mind. That's another interesting word. Bear in mind. Like, when you actually look at these words that you've been using since you learned English, you just finally realize, like, hold on a little bit. Shut up, mate. Give me a little second. No, I just want to play some Diablo today. Because tomorrow I'm playing it with my friend. And I want to warm up a little bit. See how it's like. It's like multiplayer. It's more than one player. It's multi. Like a multiple of players. That's what multiplayer means. Multiple of players. Anyone wants to play Diablo with me? Just asking for a friend. I'm not cutting to the chase. I'm waiting for 100 people to join. It's like first I need the population to grow. I need a change in demographics on my channel before we're starting. In World War II, American soldiers used passwords like Lollapalooza since the Japanese soldiers could not pronounce it. It's actually quite interesting. I remember a couple of American spies were caught in the Soviet Union because of the way they would cross their legs. Like, apparently Europeans and Americans cross their legs differently. So, that was interesting. Life is Cringe versus Diablo 3 Remastered. Oh, we got the GG. GG is in the chat. How's it going, GG? Violence doesn't have a gaming computer. Do you need a gaming computer to play Diablo 2? What is the world coming to? Like, why would you need a gaming computer to run Diablo? That's something new. Although, I gotta say, when I was a kid, and I got my first gaming computer, my first computer ever, actually, the only thing that I was afraid of is, like, can it run Diablo? And I remember, like, I was sitting there 10 minutes for the installation. I had to swap this 1, then swap this 2, then swap this 3, and swap this 4. And then I had to insert the Lord of Destruction CD. And after all of them were done, I started it, and it ran smoothly, and it made me happy. But yeah, back in the day, Diablo had 4 discs, like 4 CDs. And it also had a Lord of Destruction expansion. So it was like 5 CDs in total. And when you installed it, you placed the first CD and then it would install and then it'd go like ding, insert this 2. And it was quite funny if this 3 was crashed or something. And then it's like, couldn't install it. Yeah. Good times, good times. Better than the diskettes at school. Like you would go with floppy disks. We call them diskettes. You'd go with the floppy disk. And Windows, I think, had like 20 or 30 floppy disks. Was kind of cool. All right, let's start playing. I'm not waiting for 100 people. I'm excited. You know, like this is the game of my childhood. Let's see how much they managed to ruin it. Let's see if I'm going to cry. Squishy waifu is here to stay. So, all right. Why couldn't they do a good job with Warcraft 3 though? I mean, if I had to choose what they should bring back, and I had to choose between Diablo and Warcraft 3, I would have 100% chosen Warcraft 3. That has look at them. Look at that face. Now you want it more louder. All right, let's pump up the volume. I hope this is good. What else we got? We got gameplay. I don't label disabled. I don't think I need to mess with gameplay. The video though, 4K resolution, good. Full screen. What is this resolution calibrate? I don't know what it is. Controls the internal resolution of the game. Ooh, I see. Make it more sharp. Okay. Frame rate no cap. Graphics very high. Game resolution. Oh, it's for the legacy. I see. Okay, higher mic volume means lower game volume. The mic is at max, so. Is this better? What? Okay, so lower still. I hope this is good. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if it's good. Is it good or do you want it lower still? Better but not good? Ah, can go it down. Here you go. Alright, now I can't hear shit, but still. So what should I play as? Let's see, the haram underboob is gone. They removed the underboob because they know it's shameful. How can a woman be presented with underboob? Let me see if the damn it, the toggle. Alright, she had underboob. Like, this is shameful. I mean, imagine the kids looking at it. Horrible. Yeah, I honestly think is the people at Blizzard, the leadership, that they would just jump at the monitor and start humping the monitor. So the people at Blizzard were like, okay, we need to control our leadership from doing these things. Okay, people want assassin. I'll play with assassin. This guy looks a lot better. I gotta say, like, he looked as if he escaped Auschwitz. And then he got caught, went to Birkenau, and escaped that as well. This one looks actually better. This guy looks like he stood in the sun a little bit more than before, but it's fine. I don't mind. Made him a little bit more fat, didn't they? Yeah, he was a little bit more muscular. Now they made him look like Thor from God of War 4. Wait, did he just pick up the sword from? Oh yeah, he does a little thing. This is horrible. Like this, I really wanted to play with the Amazon, but unfortunately, it's the face. Like no, it looks like a man. It's a manly face. I'm sorry, I can't. Get the fuck back. Get back. I will defend myself. Get back. Stay back. Did good work on him. I mean, this guy is probably really fun at parties. You know, you got like a party and it's like, hey guys, close the light. He's going to do his thing. And then he goes in and he does the thing. And runs it. Now, I don't know why people complain about the assassin. She kind of looks the same, I guess. I mean, it's too pixelated to tell the face if it's Asian or not, right? And she used to have short hair before as well. I guess she had more boobies than she does now. I don't know, actually no. Is that she still has boobies, it's just that they're in disagreement with each other. They're not in harmony. They're not here. They're more closer together. Here they're more like apart. So okay, fine. Let's have this. Oh, you can actually select if you want to play pre-expansion, and you can select if you want to play on ladder. Alright. I don't think she looks like a man. I think the Amazon looks like a man. Or never mind. She kind of does look like a man. Yeah, the thing is, like, before it's too pixelated to tell, but now that the features are a little bit more obvious, let me see if I can find the button for you to... I think there's a button where you can zoom in. You know what? I'll find the button. Controls, chat, blah blah blah. Should be a button for zoom. Gameplay, no. Video maybe? This is the button for zoom. Zoom in live. Okay, quest log, character, blah blah blah. Oh, F. No, I don't think she looks like a man. It's just like she's got short hair. That's it. I'm happy with it. Okay, first of all, I thought this is cellulitis, but apparently it's not. Akara does look like a man, I believe. Let's see.
I am Akara.
Yeah, she looks exactly like a man.
The Sisterhood of the Sightless Eye. I welcome you, traveler, to our camp. But I'm afraid I can offer you but poor shelter within these rickety walls. There is a...
Okay. At first I thought, oh my gosh, she's got cellulitis. But then I realized it's like, hold on a little bit. This is Blizzard. There's no way she can have any skin showing. And then I was right. She doesn't have skin showing. Charcy is yet another one with a very manly face. Which is kind of weird because she's got like this very pretty voice.
Hi there. I'm Charcy, the blacksmith here in camp. It's good to see some strong adventurers around here. Minute?
I mean, look at Charcy. Like, if you didn't know, if you played a game and you saw this, you'd say, all right, this is the male blacksmith in town. It's, I don't mind, you know, but it's obvious that Blizzard is trying to cover their ass It's like, oh, so our company is reeking with sexual harassment. The feds are looking into us. Let's just make absolutely sure that no one can accuse us
They'll
of
never
misogyny.
see me coming.
How do we do that? Oh, we cater to feminism. What does feminism want? To make sure there is no male gaze in video games. My god, I miss this. I miss this so much. The music is also really good. See, I realize why all games had such a good charm. And part of it is not necessarily just the gameplay and all, but it's also the atmosphere, like the sound effects, man. They don't make games with sound effects like they used to. And sound effects make so much for creating the atmosphere. Ooh, already. Ah, I can now resist the cold. Maybe I can manage to escape some of the huge gas prices that are coming this year.
So dark. Perfect.
I can't hit you. Social fucking distance. Why aren't you wearing your mask? It's not a mask. You're killing people. You're killing grandma. I don't think this is a mockery. I mean, it's the same game. I'm actually quite happy with the fact that people are playing this again. And you can have people competing, so it's not that bad. I mean, comparing to Warcraft 3, fucked. This is just absolute gold. It actually gives me really good and very strong childhood vibes. The ugly faces kill grandma. Huh. I got a stamina potion. What do you think that's like? It's like a Red Bull? So let me tell you something interesting while the guys are in the chat. So this is breaking news, okay? Get your breaking news from me. So you know that in the United States, in his absolute infinite wisdom, and for the health of us all, because this is going to affect me in Europe probably, Joe Biden, he came up with the idea. It's like, let's force people to vaccinate, right? Because if we force people to vaccinate, and we tell them, hey, you either get vaccinated or you get fired, then surely everyone is going to get vaccinated, right? That's an interesting way of looking at things, especially in a country that was founded by the concept of liberty or death. I mean, that's definitely, you know, like, okay, fine. Turns out there are some people in certain areas that went, oh, so I either get vaxxed or I don't get to work. Okay, then I quit. Now, one of those areas happened to be with the truck industry. So the truckers have quit. Not a lot of them, not all of them, but sufficient enough in order to cause problems. Now, if you look at pictures that on the Bay of California, you're going to see a lot of shipping ships, yes, shipping ships, that are lining up trying to get to the port. I think it's like 30 or 40 ships lining up, and every day there's going to line up more. And
The rogues test is done.
you wonder, like, why is this? Like, why are the ships landing? Well, apparently because the ports are full. And if the port is full, they can't unload the merchandise. Now, the reason the port is full is because there are no truckers pull the stuff out from the port.
You
Meh. Yeah, but like this is California that we're talking about, right? Now, this might not seem like a big problem. It's like, okay, so who cares if the shipping containers don't get to be delivered in time? Well, you realize that America imports a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. So you're going to have shortages. On what? I don't know. On stuff that gets imported. Like if it's from China, you're probably not getting it. You may say, well, that's a good thing, right? Not really, because when you look at it, a lot of things is imported from China. And if you were to, you know, advocate for more American consumer goods or whatnot, the change would have to be made gradually, because otherwise you're going to have shortages. You're going to have stores that look very similar to how the stores I grew up in when communism was here, so I don't know, not good. And of course it might also influence Europe. But yeah, you know, that's just another thing. Look, I love how Xanthonium tries to explain. It's not that there's not more truckers, it's that there's more containers than truckers available. It's like, dude, that's literally what it means. It's like there's not enough truckers. There should be more truckers. It's like saying it's not that there's not enough food, it's just too many people that want to eat. Well, no, it's still... You're still saying exactly what I said, you're just putting it in a different light. And yes, of course, if you're a trucker, you're definitely making a killing right now. I mean, the price, like, considering how desperate people are, like, willing to pay for that, oh my god. No, Zanothium, I get that you're working in international shipping. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you literally said what I've said. Alright? If there's not enough truckers... Oh, the way they moan. Did they make them ugly? Hold on. So they used to be like this. Wait, they're naked? They allow them to have boobies? Oh, so women can be naked as long as they're really ugly, right? So if they're cut up, if they have like blood on their legs and stuff, then they can be naked. But otherwise they need to cover up. Okay, I get it. Blizzard logic. Oh. This used to make me happy when I was a teenager. I don't know why. So, where was I with the shipping guy? Yeah, the shipping guy. It's important to think about the ships. So, as we were saying, I told you there's not enough truckers, and you're like, no, it's not that there's not enough truckers, that there's too many ships. This is the same shit. I mean, if you were to have more truckers, like I'm suggesting, then the problem would go away. Of course, I suppose you also have a point. If there were less ships, then you didn't need more truckers. Yes, okay, fine. You're right. How silly of me. You know, I think they're upset because I'm not wearing a mask. You know, I'm an assassin. Cover up. But I just don't roll that way. Yeah, shouldn't the assassins cover up? You'd think the assassin in Diablo would have a mask? Apparently not. You know, have a woman that chases you like the Dark Hunter. Look at her. Yeah, no, but seriously, like truckers, if you look at a city as a living organism, so you look at the roads in the way. Actually, no, this is a really great example. So when you look at a city, even the mayor and the city planners, they call the roads arteries. Because that's pretty much what it is. It pumps the lifeblood in the city. Like all the logistics go through the roads. And if you look at that, in that position, then the truckers, they're really the red blood cells of the organism. They're the ones carrying the oxygen to the city. Without truckers, the supermarkets are empty. You can't get food in the city. Like, people starve. So whatever, historically, like whatever truckers were striking, you would always end up having the government immediately drop whatever it is they're doing and negotiating with the truckers. I mean, you can have the garbage collectors striking, and sure, it would stink up the city, and things would look nasty. But people were like, meh.
I am overburdened.
I guess it is what it is. Or you could have, I don't know, even the cops when they're striking is not really that bad. I mean, sure, you know, you got crimes going up, but like people are like, well, you know, maybe we can defend ourselves. When you have truckers that are striking, oh my god, like that is the worst. Australia, it was also construction workers that by the way, like Australia is another country that I don't get, right? So Australia is probably like one of the few countries in the world which actually sold its natural resources. Like, that is very bizarre. I can't wait to see what they done to Andariel. Well, I think they covered Andariel up, you know, and I kind of get that. In fact, I actually want Ontario to be covered up, and I'll explain why I did it. So when you play a game that looks like this, if you have a character that's not covered up, you don't really notice. But when you play a game that looks like this, if you have a character that's not covered up and you're trying to stream the game on Twitch, you're going to get banned. So Andariel is like literally the only censorship in the game that I don't really mind. It's just because it's like such a big character. It's really huge on the screen, and you might end up getting banned if you're trying to stream the game. Yeah, so where was I? Yes, Australia. Like, Australia is something that I don't really get. So I think they're one of the only countries in the world that sold their natural resources, which is very bizarre. I mean, even third world nations don't sell their natural resources. I think Romania sold a couple, but like it's only because we can't have the technology to process them, and even then there was a big scandal. So normal nations, like again, even nations from Africa, they don't sell their natural resources. But if you look at Australia, like most of their natural resources are bought by the Chinese. And not only that, but they also have Chinese people that live there. So they have like entire enclaves in
Whose
Australia
handiwork lies buried
where
here.
you have Chinese people, right? So because of that, obviously, there's going to be a lot of anti-hate speech laws, and you know, like you can't really say anything negative about China because, you know, it might be hate speech. So okay, you know, fine, whatever. But then you look at Australia's external policy, and their external politics, they're very hostile with China. So you just have to wonder, it's like, how does an Australian person short circuit? Because like, if you want to be hostile to a foreign nation, so for example, heaven forbid, there's a war between, you know, like let's say China invades Taiwan, and then you have Australia and the United States going to war over it. How can you justify that to the people? Because like, if you have a military conflict, you need to demonize the enemy, right? Because you're sending soldiers there with the purpose of shooting the enemy. And the question becomes, it's like, okay, but how can you tell them that, okay, so the Chinese that are in Australia are the good Chinese, but the ones that have to stay in China are the bad? Like, how do you? I don't know. It's just like really weird to me. I don't know. Then again, I don't think I ever seen a woke nation go to war with another power.
I am overburdened.
If you shoot the enemy, they win. Yes, I remember, like, Justin Trudeau.
What can I do for you?
I think it was in regards to ISIS. If you can know, they win. Turns out that was just a prank. Like, he didn't actually say that. But to be honest, I remember, like, during that time, what did, like, 2016, the idea of harmlessness as a virtue was reaching unbearable levels.
Yes.
I mean, even the most pacifist society in the world, even the ones with the Buddhist monks and stuff, even they agree that self-defense is okay. Like, no one is going to say, no, like, self-defense is really bad. Right click back. Yeah, I'll go back for the shield. Yeah, he didn't say those words, but it was his intention. Absolutely right. That was the vibe that I was getting from a lot of politicians. It was like, oh, we shouldn't let terrorists change our way of life and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, you know, like, fine. But the moment there was like a single right-wing terrorist, they were like, oh, we need to change our way of life completely. Like, giving mixed signals there, boy. That's why politics is fun. It's like, one day a politician can say something, yeah, the next day they can say the 180 degrees opposite, and people for some reason they buy it. I just don't understand how the masses work. I get to imagine that maybe people don't follow the news every day. Like, they're not reading the press like we do, so maybe that's why I just find it very, very difficult. Like, for example, right, like the thing that really blew my mind was the whole situation with COVID, right? So it initially, first cases are in China. A lot of people here, you know, they would call you a conspiracy theorist if you were saying, oh, like, it's great to come here, no one wanted to. Okay, fine, whatever. But then it comes here, and all of a sudden, like, no one remembers when you were warning people and you're telling, hey, you know, maybe you should stack up on essentials. Maybe you should buy some things, because you never know. Yeah, no one remembered those people. No one remembered when the Democrats were trying to impeach Trump during that shit. No one remembers any of it. But now everyone is panicking and everyone is buying the toilet paper. So you think, like, okay, well, you know, I guess it came from outside. I mean, it wasn't a domestic thing. Like, it's an illness that came with the plane. And now people are noticing, it's like, oh my god, everything is manufactured in China. Like, we're not going to be able to have respirators. We're not going to have masks. We're not going to have this. We're not going to have that. And there's a shortage of this, and there's a shortage of that. And I thought, it's like, oh my god, like, this is going to make people that advocate for nationalism, you know, like, America first. What does America first mean? It means that maybe manufacturing should go back to the US, right? Like, I thought that those people are going to definitely managed to win that argument. Like, I thought that argument is going to be forever won. Turns out not really. Like, all of a sudden people forget about it. It's like, no, globalism's still great. People are talking about cashless societies now. I'm like, what the fuck, cashless society? What the fuck are you smoking? Like, what does this have to do with cash? And, you know, like, now people are like, no, we need to lock down everything, like in China. It's like, you're anti-fascist. You don't want the government to lock. No, they want to lock down. Okay, fine. And after they lock down, there's a couple of chuckleheads that decide to go protest. And everyone is like, oh my god, they're killing grandma. They're literally murdering people. I'm like, okay, you know, you can't protest. I mean, human rights suspended for 14 days. But then, literally the next day, BLM marches, like massive gatherings, like, as far as the eye can see. And everyone is like, oh yes, this is great, everyone should go protest. And I'm thinking, like, motherfucker, how can the average Joe, like the guys, you know, who's told that he can't go to work, who's told that he needs to stay home, because otherwise he's killing grandma, how does he process all this information? How do people rationalize this? It's like, I understand, like, the masses are not rational, but clearly the average Joe is. Like, the average Joe needs to see that this is happening and just ask a couple of questions. And I'm like, just completely bewildered, because I knew that the mainstream media sometimes switches narratives. Like, for example, with the Taliban. Like, first, like at the beginning of the year, the Taliban are terrorists. Now I read in the press that the United States is sharing intelligence with them. And I'm like, okay, you know, like, I know this can happen, you know, politics on the ground can change. You know, the mainstream media can just all of a sudden do a 180 on an issue. It's like, alright, you know, like Macron is saying things that are so Islamophobic. In 2016, I would have gotten banned from YouTube if I would have said what Macron is saying. He's deporting entire radical mosques with the helicopter. It's like, no, seriously, like, if you look at what's happening in France, like, entire mosques are being flown all the way back to Saudi Arabia. I'm like, okay, if I were to say something like this, if I were to suggest something like this in 2016, I would have been guilty of Islamophobia. Right? So, well, whatever, you know, fine. I get it. Like, sometimes the news change. It happens. But what I don't get, and what I don't understand, is how can you change it from one day to another? That really blew my mind. The respiratory thing was misinformation. Respirators were initially a shortage, but respirators produced on America far exceeded any demand. No, I get it. Dude, I get it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that in the beginning it was a shortage, and people realized, like, all the respirators are being made outside of America. So what happened was that America went into, I guess it was kind of like a war mode, where they repurposed certain factories. Like, for example, Elon Musk, if I'm not mistaken, he started producing respirators, right? So all of a sudden, like, the American economy was doing great, because you have all these companies that are now manufacturing American goods. So yeah, I mean, technically, like, I thought, okay, so people are going to realize now that not only can you actually make stuff in your own country, but it gives access to more jobs. It's you know, stifles a little bit that awful patriotism. I don't know. Still.
I am overburdened.
I'm really... Oh, Eagle Orbs pay well? I didn't know that. I'll know it from now on. I just want to finish the act to show Andario to whomever asked in the chat. But at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if the mainstream media says that global warming isn't a problem anymore, and people will go like, meh. And then the next day they'll say, you know what, we were wrong. I think global warming really is a problem. And people will go, oh my. I mean, it's just bizarre. I don't know how else to call it. Like literally, it's like looking at the TV is like reading the Quran. The last passage is the only one that matters. I'm just. Of course, people hate the CCP on the mainland because you have to understand when you have a country like America, where you have democracy, you don't really know who to blame for your misfortune. Like for example, let's say you're in the United Kingdom and there's no more, I don't know, there's no more meat in the stores, right? Like who do you blame for that? You don't really know. Or unemployment is high, you can't find a job. Who do you blame? It's ambiguous. See, it's difficult to point out. But in a country like communist China, when everything is being led by the CCP, then it's very easy to figure out who to blame. Like literally any problem that you have is because of the people in charge. So that's why in dictatorships, usually free speech is the first one that gets censored. Because again, like any problem whatsoever, whether it is the fault of the people in charge or not, are going to be blamed on the people in charge because it's a dictatorship. Why can't I get a single assassin weapon? Did you notice that, like when you're playing with the barbarian, everywhere around you, you only get like sorceress and assassin weapons and necromancer ones. And then when you play with the necromancer, you only get sorceress and barbarian's helmets. I swear to God, this is intentional. Joe Biden said today that he wants to tax the rich, and I was, wow, Joe, that is such a niche position you're taking there, you big radical boy, you. So he's going to tax himself.
I can't carry anymore.
He's going to tax himself. He's going to tax Hunter. He's going to tax Hillary Clinton. By the way, is it taxing the rich the reason that so many corporations went and set up shop in China? For a friend, of course. Yeah, the sound effects is literally what makes the game. Sound effects and the cool atmosphere. The visuals, you gotta remember, the visuals weren't even great. I mean, they weren't that good for its time. There were games that were more pretty than Diablo. For example, Nox. Nox was a very good game and was very pretty. But what Diablo really adds to the table seems to be with the horror thing, with the sound effects and whatnot. Who's Corn Pop?
And so it came to pass that the Countess, who once bathed in the rejuvenating blood of 100 virgins, was buried alive. And her castle, in which so many cruel deeds took place, fell rapidly into ruin. Rising over the buried dungeons in that god-forsaken wilderness, a solitary tower, like some monument to evil, is all that remains. The Countess's fortune was believed to be divided among the clergy, although some say that more remains unfound, still buried alongside the rotting skulls that bear...
So, yeah, people point out why Diablo 3 was bad, and many say that it also had to do with the story, which was pretty much like go here, now go there, and now go over here. While this one kind of feels more like free-flowing, like you're exploring yourself. Gotta have to agree with that, but I don't know if that's the only thing. I think like Diablo 3 story is just hot of shit. The way they killed Deckard Cain, the villains, they're cartoonically comical. Like for example, when you're fighting, what's the name? God, I forgot the name of that demon from Act 3. You know, you're fighting that demon from Act 3, and he's like, your fort is besieged. You will never manage to survive. And then it's like, oh, you have managed to clear the fort of my minions, but you will never defeat my generals. Oh, you have defeated my generals, but you will never manage to find the way to hell. Oh, you have found the way to hell, but you will never manage to defeat the Sin Tower. Oh, you have defeated... Like, at this point, like, I'm starting to wonder, like, a 5-year-old could have wrote a better story and better dialogue. I mean, it would have been at least cool to show the demon getting a little bit nervous that you're starting to get closer to him. But no, it's like, it's really like that, a little cocky attitude is like, ah, you will never, blah, blah, blah. Like, even Bond villains had more charisma than that. Yeah, the art style was also meh. I mean, look at this game, you know, it feels kind of a horror game. The vibe, music, it feels like something really bad is taking place here. What, Diablo 3 has filters to make it look like you're playing Diablo 2? That's okay. And I don't really know why they didn't add an endgame to Diablo. I mean, you know, Diablo 2, this is a really old game, right? So, of course, you don't really expect a proper endgame from it. You just farm and farm and farm, right? But with Diablo 3, they could have actually made a really good PvP arena. And you're using the weapons that you gather from playing single player, so you have a reason to go farm, and then you can play in the arena, and you can actually defeat other players.
Hold an ancient power.
I mean, so much stuff they could have done, to be honest. I don't know if they could have done raid bosses and stuff, but still. I don't do Discord servers because the last time I did the Discord server, there was a moderator from Discord which told me that there is some hate speech on my server. Now, they didn't really say what that means or who said it or what it is. They just said, hey, by the way, there's hate speech on their server. Go delete it. And I told them to kindly suck my cock. I'm not deleting shit. The only thing that I deleted was the Discord server. Look, I understand that Discord wants to censor stuff. Okay, fine. You know, if they don't like it, they can censor it. It's not my platform. But I'm not going to do the censorship for them. I'm not their bitch boy. I don't censor people. Like, I literally had zero moderation on my server. I didn't care. It's like people could say whatever they want. And here's the thing, right? This is why I really hate this Nazi way of running the camp. Because the Nazis used to also have capos. The capos were actual prisoners that they would give power over the other prisoners. So they did this in order to save costs. Now, yeah, I don't do that because, all right, let's say that one of you guys goes to my Discord server and posts, I don't know, a South Park link. Now, if I wanna be cautious, I can either delete your South Park link because it's hate speech, and then you guys get upset at me, and it's like, oh V, why are you censoring? Why are you being ridiculous? Blah 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 blah. Or I can just leave it up there, and then some Discord moderator can remove my chat, my server, and then people get upset at me because it's like, hey V, I lost my account, you asshole, because I was on your server. So I don't want to be put in that position. I don't want the responsibility. Discord should fuck itself. I'm not going to make a Discord server ever. Plus, I always like stuff, you know. Am I wrong, chat? No, I'm not doing that, Abby. I'm just not. I don't want to support that business. It's not giving me money. It's not something that I enjoy. So no, I'm not doing it. Like for what? Why would I support yet another corporation that's as evil as all the others? Not to mention, if I think about Discord's business model, it makes me sick. So you get to buy games, right, on the Discord shop, but then they can block your account. And once they ban your account, you lose all the games you bought. Like, you actually spend money for that? No, fuck that. You got banned from Sargon server? Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if you deserve to be banned from that. But that's the problem. You know, like people go, oh my god, Sargon is censoring. It's like, well, yeah, because Discord is making it. Like, he wants to have a server. I don't. I'm not putting up with that shit.
I can't
You
get
know, like
on.
I would get if they would want you to censor like CP or actual illegal stuff. No, but they want you to censor hate speech, which is like so subjective that it can mean literally anything. Like if a person doesn't like Black Lives Matter, is he doing hate speech? I guess it depends who you ask, right? They're running away from it. I think Discord actually has Chinese investors, if I'm not mistaken. I love how when someone made Diablo 3, one of the developers, he was like, oh yes, Diablo 3 is going to be still a hard game, because, you know, like, people knew that Diablo 2 was kind of hard, so. And in order to gaslight people that Diablo 2 was hard, he actually showed, like, one zombie from the first level, and I'm like, why aren't you showing Act 2? People like actual Japanese warriors who start PLM. I don't know, like, why would I want to put myself in that position where it's ambiguous? I don't know. Now, if I ban people for doing that, then you can say, "Oh, well, V is pro censorship." Like, I don't want to put myself in that situation. Oh, let's try this one. Oh, this one's kind of cool. I like it. But I don't get it. So all of these finishing moves, they look the same to me. Like this one, okay, charges up a flaming fist, whatever. And this is one just that deals more damage. So I guess this is like AoE, and the other one is like single target. But why would I ever put points in both? Like I would just choose the one that I would use the most, which is probably this one. Well, at least I made $10 in this stream from a super chat, so I guess my friend that not only did he give me the game, I also got $10 from it. He's gonna get upset. Like, why don't I get $10? Say, well, not everyone can be as fun and entertaining as me. I kind of like it. I gotta say, they did a good job with the remaster. It's just that I don't understand why they couldn't do the same with Warcraft 3. That's really what I'm really upset about.
I can't carry anymore.
I'll probably try Life is Cringe next time. Like, I just wanted to show you guys how the game is like. This is not really a game that you would stream, to be honest, because like there's nothing. It's just more of the same. It's the clickety can't make that many jokes about it. I need to also focus by looking at the screen all the time. I don't really read the chat. So this is not a really good game for streaming, to be honest. Oh, I broke the sword. Shit. Play something which brings joy to the soul. I could show you guys Pathfinder sometime.
What you need?
Diablo 3 was so easy, I was able to max out all 5 original classes. I think that, when the game was released, if I'm not mistaken, you also had this ability to play on Inferno. So yeah, you had like 4 levels of difficulty. You had normal, nightmare, hell, and Inferno, if I'm not mistaken. And Inferno apparently was hard because people whined about it so fucking much, to the point where the developers had to nerf the game. Thank you, Trey. I'll actually do that tomorrow. Thank you. I appreciate it. Assassin is really fun. Like some people used to like the trap assassin. I just like to see them how their life just runs. Did it behind the trees. Well, no, like that's not a mode. Permadeath is damn it. Hardcore. Yeah, and you can play hardcore on Inferno. Like that's like something else that you toggle. And basically, if you die once, you're dead. It's not necessarily hard. It's like it requires you to select the character differently. And what a lot of people do, like, let's say I'm about to die, right? So I'm playing the permadeath mode, and I'm really about to die. You press escape, and then you press save and exit, and it's. I never understood like the fun of it. It's like, okay, but isn't that kind of like defying the point? So the way people play permadeath, the hardcore mode, from what I know, what is the ones that I spoke with? Maybe other people. They would farm the same area over and over to out-level the next area. And I'm like, okay, but like, dude, is removing the challenge. It's like, okay, let's challenge myself. And then in order to remove the challenge, I'm going to just play as tediously as possible. But again, it's like, is it bragging rights when you can do this? And it's paused? So, I mean, you guys saw I didn't die once, right? Now, if I was playing hardcore, I would have put all my stats in vitality. And when you put all your stats in vitality, you start to notice that the life is going down, so whenever your life is less than half, just press escape. I don't get it. And not to mention, like, most of the time, from what I heard, like, the people that I know who played it only on hardcore, usually, like, 7 out of 10 times when they died, it wasn't because they did a mistake, but it was, like, either due to a lag spike, something happened in real life, like someone phoned them on their computer, or they forgot their character or something, you know? And it's like, okay, I get it, but I think Diablo 3 actually worked it out. You couldn't log out instantly. So even if you alt F4, it was, like, the game was online only, and even if you alt F4, it would take 10 seconds until you could disconnect. So yeah, I guess like hardcore in Diablo, sorry, in Diablo 3, not 4. Hardcore in Diablo 3 was actually better. Yeah, you say that escapists are cheaters, and I kind of agree with you. But how can you prove that someone didn't escape? You're not there. You just see, oh look, I got like a level 50 barbarian. It's on hardcore. It's okay, but like. Yeah, everyone plays on normal mode or cheats. I 100% agree with that statement. I love Dungeon Siege, but what's even better than Dungeon Siege was Space Siege. I don't know how many people remember that. Yeah, I remember on Space Siege you could actually use cybernetics to augment yourself, and if you did that, you get the bad ending. And the bad ending was that you lost your... No, so you had like 2 different endings. So in Space Siege you were, I believe, on a spaceship. You were under attack by aliens, and in order to fight them off, you had the opportunity to enhance yourself with cybernetics. Now the bad version of the game is if you used literally every single slot with cybernetics, and what would happen was that you would actually end up turning on the crew because you lost your humanity. So you would pretty much like force the crew to roboticize, to become cybernetically enhanced as well, like forcefully. The other ending was if you only used a couple of cybernetics, and that was like the semi-good ending, I guess. And the best ending is if you didn't use a single cybernetic, and then you got to have sex with the girl. It's like the girl didn't want to go. Jeez. she didn't do any of the degeneracy. She wasn't. But it's. What did the progressive call? It was a trad waifu.
How has this tree escaped corruption?
Oh, there.
I don't believe the game volume is too loud. I spoke with people about this. It's already at. Here you go. Do you know, like, apparently you can choose not to rescue Deckard Cain, and then he actually charges you $100 or 100 gold for every item you identify. Remember how epic no, she wasn't sexually attracted to pansexuals, that's what I'm trying to say. She was only attracted to pure-blooded humans. So if you would put a cyber enhancement on you, cyber argumented, like, no. Help! What it did to you then? Okay, save and exit. I kind of like it. I gotta say, it's not a bad game. Doesn't worth, like, if someone wouldn't have bought it for me, I wouldn't have bought it. It doesn't worth the price. But I wish they would have done the same good job with Warcraft 3, and unfortunately, we're never going to see that. Yeah. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for the super chats, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.